All of my arrests are expunged from the record. I marched under the aegis of the American Jewish Congress, and they were known as the lawyers of the Jewish community. So the lawyers, after running through the prison to see us and tell us to buck up, they also worked hard to get the records expunged. So my grandchildren will, I think, not have a difficult time getting into college. But the children, you've heard their names, and Howard, my darling Howard. It's going to be 62 years in January. And they learned to take care of themselves, as Howard said about Ned, in self-defense, or they wouldn't have eaten. I was telling the story, and I'm going to tell it to you in a moment, but I want to thank a few more people. I want to thank Sarah Beth and Shay, who has been wonderful, both of them. This is a full house, and it was because of them, their efforts, and because all of you cared. And I thank them very much from the bottom of my heart. I also want to thank the other wonderful women of Metro West. You know, Leslie is on an upward trajectory. She's given so much to us here, and now, as she said, she's the co-chair of what will, I know, be a wonderful time in New Orleans, but she's chairing the International Lion of Judah Conference. She, Lori, Anna, we have wonderful people, and that's just the top, the first names that came to my head, but I'm not going to go any further. You know, all of you who have given so much to this community, to the world, and I thank you. You know, it makes me feel so good to know there are other people who believe as I believe. It's very important to me. That's why I spoke all over the country. That's why I tried to rouse women when women were not so rousable, because men wouldn't let them be. But I have those thanks to tell you. And finally, we have a stellar opportunity. We're going to hear from Valerie Kipnis-Wilson. I told her that I read her husband's op-ed in the Times years ago. And I cut it out. It meant a lot to me politically. And when the Times just a few weeks ago printed the most important op-eds that they had ever allowed into the paper of the past 20 years, there was Joe Wilson's op-ed again. And I cut it out again because it means a lot to me. And this was before I knew that she would be our guest speaker. A final note on the award. It's a mouthful. Kipnis-Wilson, Friedland. Those were two women from Miami who started the Lion of Judah in the 70s. Norma Kipnis-Wilson and Toby Friedland, of blessed memory. They did something very wonderful for the Jewish community and for the Jewish people. And I wanted you to know what that was. Now, Dr. Johnson, whose amanuensis was Boswell, is reported to have said the following: "There's nothing that so concentrates the mind as the imminent prospect of execution." I say, to speak for myself, there's nothing that has so concentrated my mind as the idea that in the next 2.5 minutes, I have to give you my raison d'etre, why I did what I did, and what I believe. So, Sarah Beth, I'm going to try. 2.5 minutes. I believe that I have a parallel mandate to preserve the Jewish people, Jews, in every land in which they reside. Here in this country, of course, in Israel, and all over the world. But at the same time, I believe that I also have the mandate to assume responsibility for all people. This isn't novel. The wonderful services we offer in this community and nationally and internationally are part of the first mandate. But why are Jews in the forefront of the fight against genocide in Darfur? Why did Israelis go to Haiti as soon as the earthquake hit that sad, poverty-stricken nation? And we have the Racial Coalition in this community, which helps non-Jewish women as well as Jewish women. But that's what has driven me. I think it's the command of our prophets who said, seek peace, justice, equality, freedom. That's what I believe, and I think all of you who are here today do too. Not everybody marches and pickets and gets arrested. That's not what everyone has to do. Believe, give of yourself, your time, your energy, and your resources. That's all that you have to do to make a difference. The late, great Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel said it better than I just have. He said, a Jew is a person whose integrity decays when unmoved by the knowledge of wrongs to another person. That's really wonderful. In a nutshell, that's what I've been trying to say to you. And now, as I close, Sarah Beth is pleased that I'm using I told you I can't resist the microphone. I want to bring you back with me to a balmy evening in early spring in Montgomery, Alabama. We had almost concluded the Great March with Martin Luther King. And we were in a field. It was early evening. And his voice soared out over those of us who were there. It was hundreds, perhaps 1,000 people. And Martin Luther King said to us, we are all witnesses together. And he did not mean witness wire, witness onlooker. He meant witness participant. We are all witnesses together. And I put it to you that we're all witnesses to the understanding that we're responsible one for the other. And to shirk that responsibility is to deny the real meaning of being a Jew. Thank you very much.